We have finally reached the end of the road. Come Sunday at about 6:30 Eastern, even though it'll probably be closer to 7 Eastern. The final game to wrap up the 2023 season will kick off. We made it to Super Bowl week, Chris. Super Bowl 58 is at last upon us.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a fun day, for sure. Obviously, for Steelers fans, would love to have your favorite team in there, but even if your favorite team is not there, it's still a fun day. I mean, even you don't have to be the biggest football fan. My wife's not a gigantic I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch football every something. Like, she's not that type of person. But even the Super Bowl, it grabs everybody's attention, even if it's just for the commercials. It's just a fun event. It's fun. Yeah, it's a good time. I enjoy it.
That's what it is. It's an event. And we're going to take a look at that event here on the Southside Beat later on in the show. Today is Friday, February 9th, 2024. He's Chris Halicke. I'm Corey Crisan. Before we get to the big game, as the, what would we say, the non-copyright engines would, let's talk about some Steelers matters. And first and foremost, the big stuff from last night and NFL honors. We can talk all we want about TJ Watt not winning Defensive Player of the Year, and we've pretty much did that yesterday, even though it hadn't been official yet. I mean, if you wanted any indication, TJ Watt didn't even go to the NFL honors show. So
yeah, I think that was his way of he knew he wasn't going to win. So some of those things. I mean, we saw last night. It was leaked an hour and a half or so before Cam Heyward won, Man of the Year, that he was going to win, and so TJ probably knew. And if you look closely at that Instagram post, where he said he was playing hooky, that was in Vegas. I think he was in Vegas, and he just decided, I'm not going. I'm not going to waste my time, because this thing's rigged. So, but before we get into any of the TJ stuff, we really should definitely go on the positive side and give the credit to Cam Heyward. Cam Heyward, you've covered him for a season as a beat, as the beat guy, and been in that locker room now for 2 seasons. I've covered him, even for the small glimpses that we get on the practice field, in the locker room, everything like that. He's just a phenomenal person, and when you see everything that he does in the Pittsburgh community, and you see how much he cares about it, this isn't stuff that he does just for PR purposes. He genuinely cares about spreading, just being a good person to as many people as he possibly can, and spreading joy to as many people as he possibly can. It's just phenomenal. And I do love the fact that the NFL holds that award in such high regard, higher than any other thing, accomplishment that players get for their on-field performance. But that's the premier award. And Cam absolutely deserves it.
Well, if they want any indication of how the NFL thinks of this award, it was the last award handed out in an award show where
Prince Harry gave it out.
Prince Harry gave it out. First off, yeah. It was the last award given out in an award show that included MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookies of the Year, and Hall of Fame inductees. And this is the NFL's Community Achievement Award. This is the top guy in the NFL when it comes to serving his community. And those that have lived in Pittsburgh for as long as Cam Heyward has been here, since 2011, have known and felt the impact that he has had on this area in Western Pennsylvania in a general scope as a region. Now, you can look back to all of the accomplishments, all of the achievements. To me, the really big thing has been Cam's Kindness Week, which he started in 2022. This year in 2023, in the middle of October, towards the end of October, he took a week and just went on an absolute tear of visiting with children and visiting with underprivileged people, and just being out there and being a presence and impacting these lives. And I don't have the time or really the place to describe all of the work that he's done. It's on DKPittsburghSports.com at the top of the site right now if you want to read all about it and what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
This is the highest achievement a player could get that's off of the field. This is an honor that Cam Heyward has been nominated for 6 times and at last has gotten his due on. You could argue that he could have won it last year, maybe should have won it last year.
100%.
This was appropriate for him to win it. It was going to happen at some point, and this isn't going to stop him from serving the community. This isn't going to stop him from getting out there and finding ways to positively impact lives. And again, if you go on DKPittsburghSports.com right now, Cam did about a 20-minute phone conference call with reporters, and I was in on that. And I shared some of the details of what he talked about. Of course, he talked about the influence of his mother, the influence of his father, Craig Ironhead Heyward, who also served this community for a long time during his time here at Pitt and obviously in the future. He talked about how this honor is something that is just going to fuel him more. And, I asked him about Cam's Kindness Week, and, he called it the concentrated effort as kind of the crescendo of what they do. And I completely agree with that. He gets a $250,000 prize to use for his charitable works. And, he mentioned that he sees some schools that he'd like to help with that are in this area, and he has a plan for it. So This is a guy who, regardless if he goes into Canton in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he is a staple and a fixture and a figure in the city of Pittsburgh, in the surrounding area forever because of the work that he has done. He is a Pittsburgher at heart. He belongs here. He has proven that. He has worked through that. And this is a guy that this city has embraced, and he has embraced this city. And like I said, a guy that for years to come and generations to come, his legacy is going to be about what he did for this city and not what he did for the football team.
Yeah. The one thing that I want to see out of this, and I know this seems silly. This seems really silly, almost kind of juvenile. But I really want to see the Steelers make an exception here and let Cam wear that patch on his jersey.
Likewise.
I understand that, that the Steelers are one of the teams that doesn't have the captain patches. And I get that and understand that it is more about, obviously when you put on that uniform, it's about the team. It's not about the name on the back. It's about the team. I think there's one award that really kind of transcends that. And it really is that, if he were to wear that patch, I don't think that takes away. I don't think anybody would think that Cam is thinking, again, it's an award that goes to show how selfless somebody is. So I think that would be a great way for him to be able to continue to wear that honor. If he doesn't wear it on his jersey, at least allow him to have an emblem or whatever it's called, on the back of the helmet, something so that he can carry that and wear that proudly, because it is a well-deserved honor. And I know the Steelers, many within the Steelers organization, fully support and really they almost kind of wore that the same way that Cam did. Like they wanted this for Cam badly. And so I know there's a lot of people within the organization that feel that, and I just think that'd be a great way for him to continue to wear that.
And if you want any indication of this alumni base's feelings towards Cam Heyward, today in the media call, the very first person that rang in to ask a question to Cam was Joe in Vegas. And later on that was revealed, and I recognized the voice. I'm like, it's not any reporter. It was Mean Joe Green. Mean freaking Joe Green called in to that media call to congratulate and surprise Cam Heyward in that way. And he had wonderful words to say to Cam and about Cam. And you could tell that this fraternity, so to speak, of Steelers alumni and people who have served this area through the Pittsburgh Steelers engine. And for my money, just looking at the NFL, this organization is as community driven as any other. And that's what makes the Pittsburgh Steelers so special. It's a global brand, but the roots are in Pittsburgh. Everything is set right here in Pittsburgh. Everything is through and for the city of Pittsburgh. And nobody does it better than Cam Heyward. So
Cam just tweeted. Sorry, Cam tweeted a few minutes ago. He just said, "This is the greatest honor of my life, an honor made possible by the support of so many people. Thank you." So it's just so awesome to see that. And I wanted to make sure that we took, because it's easy to get mad about the TJ stuff, and trust me, it's maddening. But Cam deserves this, and this should be the number one takeaway for fans from last night. It absolutely should be. It's easy to wallow in the pessimism and to wallow in the things in the negativity.
Yep.
But man alive, Cam Heyward 100% deserved this, and so yeah. Now we can focus on the negative.
I thought it was cool that Jim Tressel called in too. His college
that is
coach,
cool.
Of course, at Ohio State, and the president emeritus of one Youngstown State University. Go Gwins! And as Pete says it here, this is pretty much sums it up right here. Cam is Pittsburgh to me. I mean, he's Pittsburgh. Period. This man embodies this city as best as anybody could, and certainly a well-deserved honor.
So, Mike in Texas, you actually provided us a really good transition here. He says DKPS should start a media campaign to get the team to allow Cam to wear that patch. Listen, I don't want to speak for DK, but I'm pretty sure that this company doesn't like pushing narratives.
So that being said, let's talk about TJ Watt. Myles Garrett of the Browns wins Defensive Player of the Year. Go. TJ does it. Chris, I know you have a lot you want to say.
It's just
I'll give you the floor.
So here's the thing. I said a lot yesterday. There's only a couple things that I really wanted to put on the, and because I went back and I watched a couple of different things from Pro Football Focus. I went back and watched this breakdown that they did where they explained the grade. It was the game between the Steelers and Browns in week 2, right? TJ Watt scores the touchdown, the scoop and score. Alex Highsmith had the straight. TJ had a great game that game. Myles Garrett, in terms of like counting stats and everything like that, not so hot. Like 1 tackle, a quarterback hit or 2. I don't remember the exact numbers, but they explained the grade, and Myles Garrett somehow got a higher grade than TJ Watt. And so they put up like a, 5 or 6 minute video explaining the grade. Everything. And then I watched another video in which they were it was when they were announcing their own Defensive Player of the Year, which, of course, was Myles Garrett. And, everything, the first thing that comes out of their mouth every single time is the pass rush win rate. And it's just, how do I put this? Okay. When you talk about analytics, what analytics are supposed to do is they're supposed to give you a broader picture of what you see in a box score, right? When somebody gets a sack, not all sacks are made equal, right? Not all sacks are cut from the same cloth. What down did it come on? Did it happen on 1st and 10, or did it happen on 3rd and 19, or did it happen on 3rd and 2? Not all sacks are the same. Not all interceptions are the same. Both throwing them and actually catching them and taking the ball away from the other team. So what analytics are supposed to do is help cut through that a bit and give you a clearer picture to what's going on. It doesn't mean that analytics are the entire answer. It is a way to also see a bigger picture. It's not a way to say, okay, TJ Watt had 19 sacks, but how many of those were luck, as they like to put it? Or how many of those were because of everything else that happened around him and he was just fortunate to get those sacks? Or Myles Garrett wins his rate, in that game against the Steelers, I said he had a 40% pass rush win rate, but didn't produce any because a lot of the other stuff that happened doesn't go in his favor. It's like you're focusing so much on the process and not on the results in a game that is result-based, in a game that is result-oriented. Here's another way that I can put it. PFF grades are like the be-all, end-all, catch-all value of a player in, whether they want to say it's their grade or their WAR or whatever. They have a number that's supposed to quantify the player's overall value, right? Baseball has the same thing. It's wins above replacement. It's WAR. Here's the big difference between WAR in baseball and PFF grades is that there is a formula that you can plug in numbers for baseball WAR. There is a formula that you can put together to plug in those numbers. And you will make the math. Now, I can't do it because I'm not a mathematician and I'm not good at math, but you can worked the math formula and come up with a number. There is no subjectivity. Numbers aren't subjective. They don't know how to lie. They don't know how to push biases. Numbers are numbers. 2 + 2 always equals 4. That number will always be that number. PFF grades are not like that because they rely on some stats that are subjective, are admittedly subjective by PFF. Therefore, subjectivity plays a role. It's not as reliable as such as something like baseball WAR. And here's another layer to that, and then I'm done. Baseball WAR is not the be all end all for how those awards are voted either. You look at Marcus Semien in 2019 for the A's. He had an 8.5 WAR, which is a ridiculously high number.
Huge,
for those of you who don't know baseball or don't follow baseball. That is MVP level. Anything like 7 or 8, you're MVP level. Mike Trout only had a 7.9 WAR that season, but Mike Trout won the American League MVP. Why? Because Mike Trout is a better player and more valuable player to his team than Marcus Semien was. WAR is a piece of the pie. It's not the entire thing. PFF grades and pass rush win rate are only a piece of the pie. But Sam Munson, along with so many other people, have you brainwashed into thinking that the process is more important than the results. I'm done.
Darren asks, who elevates PFF to the number one metric? I have a word for it. It's laziness. I think
Sam Munson was one of the 50 voters in this thing.
Right. I think resorting to analytics is lazy in some ways. It's useful in a lot of ways. And I'm with you on this, Chris. I think there's a place for it. I think there's a reason to have them. I think there are reasons, plural actually, to have them. I think it's subjective in a way too. But with that being said, and I'm going to write more about this for tomorrow morning, for Saturday, there's still the old eye test. And when TJ Watt was the player on the Steelers defense who made everything work, TJ Watt was the consistent force, was the guy. Myles Garrett was the guy as well, but for a better Browns defense. Here's what I like to do, and I do this for MVP, for every sport. I do this for player of the year, rookie of the year, offensive player, defense, whatever it is. If you take that player out of that system or out of that team, right? Mm-hmm. What does that team do without him? The facts are the facts with TJ Watt. The Steelers are 1-11 all time without the guy. They are a shell of what they could be with TJ Watt on the sideline. I'll argue in a totality, as a whole, the Browns defense is better than the Steelers defense and has more impact players on that defense and had more impact players on that defense this year. The Steelers had a top 10 scoring defense this year in the NFL. Mm-hmm. What is that stat if TJ Watt's not on the field? Where do they rank if TJ Watt's not on the field? The Browns have the best overall defense in football. And if you take Myles Garrett off the field, they're still not going to have the best overall defensive football. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the absence of one TJ Watt and the absence of one Myles Garrett, the absence of one TJ Watt is greater than the absence of one Myles Garrett. That is a big thing for me, and that's just for me. I didn't vote for these awards. I'm just reacting to it. That being said also, if you want to look at data and numbers and actual results, TJ Watt blows the coverage away. Yep. He just does. Yep. He just does.
Like I get not wanting to just solely base, player analysis on counting stats. I get that. I understand that. And I want to go past those things too, because if somebody walks away from a season with 5 interceptions, but literally all 5 of those interceptions were tipped and literally fell right in your lap, it's not the same as when somebody else might get 4 interceptions and they had to make an outstanding play to get those 4 interceptions. There are ways to cut through the counting stats. However, you have to account for, you can't put the process ahead of the results. Weigh the process into it, yes, but just because Myles Garrett might win a certain rep against a tackle when the offense literally is running a sprint option to the side away from him, where Myles Garrett has literally no chance of making a play, but that play is going to count in his favor because it's in a vacuum. That number is in a vacuum. Did he win his rep or not? Yes, he did. Doesn't matter that the play is going to go away from him and the quarterback's going to get the ball out of his hands in 2 seconds. Does not matter. Myles Garrett's not going to get back there because they're good. That play is designed to literally move away from Myles Garrett and to throw the ball into the flat or to a quick out or whatever else. There's no chance that somehow will have a higher play that is more in favor for Myles Garrett than if TJ Watt happens to walk into a sack just because he's in the backfield for a certain amount of time. He's in the backfield. Why is that a bad thing? Are we going to hate on Harry Kane and soccer for scoring the majority of his goals from within the 6-yard box? No. He put the ball in the back of the net because that's what he's supposed to do. That's what he's paid to do. TJ Watt is paid to bring the quarterback to the ground, and he does it better than anybody else in football. It's not. This is when you begin to outthink yourself, and then to top that off, you become so dogmatic in your view that nothing else matters other than what you think about it.
I didn't expect to hear a Harry Kane name drop today, but I'm glad I did. All right, we got to move on.
I'm not a Harry Kane fan, by the way.
That's fine. We got to move on. 3 assistant coaches. We'll spend a little bit of time on this before we get to the Super Bowl.
I got a trivia for you.
Oh, Chris does have a few trivia questions, so let's do a little bit on this. Just news note. We can talk more about it Monday, I think.
Yeah.
3 additions to the offensive staff: Tom Arth, quarterbacks coach; Zach Azzani, wide receivers coach; and Mateo Cambui as an offensive assistant. Arth was with the Chargers. Spent some time with Justin Herbert. Whether you want to call it development or not, I don't know, but he was there coaching up Justin Herbert. Mm-hmm. He was the head coach at Akron before, and was there for 3 seasons. For my money, didn't do a great job there. But anyway, Azzani was with the Jets last year. He spent quite a bit of time with the Broncos and the Bears, so he's been well-traveled, 47 years old. Cambui's 31, and he's kind of fresh to the coaching ranks. He was with Arthur Smith in Atlanta, offensive line assistant last year, and he was a coaching fellow a couple of years ago. So a couple of young hires, and then, of course, Azzani brings some experience to the receivers room. So we'll talk more about them on Monday, I think, mm-hmm. and we will dive more into, what they could bring to the Steelers on Monday. But Super Bowl 58, Chris.
Yeah.
2 days away from the big game, trademark notwithstanding. Usher at halftime, Taylor Swift camera cuts, all of that. It's happening. The final game to wrap up the 2023 season is upon us. We're going to make picks, and I encourage those that are listening in live on YouTube to drop in your Super Bowl prediction. We'll pop them on the screen.
We'll talk about them.
We can still get the predictions in for now. We'll set them off to the side. But Chris has some Super Bowl trivia to ask me, and I'm bad at Super Bowl trivia, but the chat can definitely put in their answers, and we'll get the first guesses on the board, and winner gets congratulations.
If I see a correct answer first, I will put it up there.
All right.
So get your thumbs ready if you're in the chat. Okay.
Okay.
What network has broadcasted the Super Bowl the most?
My answer to that would be, because 58 years. I like auto defaulted.
We're not counting 58 into this, by the way.
Okay.
58 does not count.
Oh, so that means it's close. I like auto defaulted to Fox. I feel like NBC has.
NBC is second.
NBC second. So CBS.
Mark has it.
Okay.
CBS.
Mark got it. CBS.
21 for CBS, about to be 22.
What's NBC at?
20.
Okay. So
right behind.
Yeah. I was right on it. All right.
NBC's up there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, what city, not stadium, what city has hosted the Super Bowl the most?
It has to be Pasadena, California.
No.
Really?
Not even top 3.
Oh, I'm doing so terribly. Miami. Okay.
11.
Okay.
All right. So Corey beat you guys in the chat. Miami at 11. No, it is definitely not Dallas. Dallas has hosted 1.
There you go. Smith family had it first.
And even then, it wasn't Dallas. It was Arlington. It's DFW. People get really finicky about that here.
See, when you said city, not stadium, or like when you said city, that's why I was like, well, some people might mistake the Rose Bowl for being in LA, and it's not.
Right. No. Okay. So LA the greater Los Angeles area, which would include Pasadena, has 8, which is third.
Okay.
New Orleans is second with 10.
Okay.
Okay. How many? I have 8 questions total, so we're on number 3. Okay. How many franchises have consecutive losses in a Super Bowl?
Wow. How many franchises have consecutive losses in a Super Bowl?
This one's a little more difficult.
It has to be a low number, I think.
I knew 2 of them.
Oh,
put it that way.
I mean,
it's more than 2.
You gave up that it's more than 2.
Yep.
I want to say it's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, bonus points if you can name them.
Buffalo's one of them.
Yes.
For sure.
Mike in Texas has one of the other ones.
Broncos is the other one. It's not the Steelers. It's not
not consecutive losses. Steelers have only lost 2.
Vikings?
Yeah, actually, sorry, Monongahela Mike had it first in Minnesota.
Nice.
So Buffalo has lost 4 straight. Terrible. Just heartbreaking. 4 straight. Then Minnesota and Denver have both lost 2 in a row.
Good question.
Okay. Chiefs and 49ers are meeting for the second time in the Super Bowl.
Right.
How many other instances have 2 teams faced each other multiple times in the Super Bowl?
Oh, wow. It has to be a lot. Like, it's a specific number, which is going to be weird. I'm going to go with like 8. I think it's low-ish.
You're really, really close.
Am I really?
Yes.
What is it?
7 times.
7 times.
7 times, other than this will be the 8th time.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. It was really close.
Yeah.
Now, bonus points if you can name any of them.
Oh, I mean, Rams Patriots for sure, because that recently just happened.
That's one of them.
We didn't have Ravens. I mean, Cowboys Steelers.
Yep. Only instance for
the
for
Steelers.
3 where a team faced each other 3 times.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
That's the only one.
That's cool.
All the
I mean,
other
I don't know
ones have been only
specific. I don't know specific. Packers Chiefs, was that multiple back then?
Bills and Cowboys is one of them.
Bills Cowboys, yeah. Giants Patriots.
Yep, that's another one.
Chiefs Packers wasn't one of them. How about that?
Let me go through all of them real quick just for time's sake. So Pittsburgh Dallas, that's the only one with 3. Miami Washington, they split those. San Francisco Cincinnati. Dallas Buffalo, already said that. Giants Patriots, already said that. Patriots Eagles.
Oh yeah, yeah, just recent. Yeah.
Yep. And then Patriots Rams, like we said that. So
okay.
All right. If the Chiefs win, it will be their 4th Super Bowl win. Who are the other 2 teams with 4 wins? Not 4 or more, just 4 wins.
Oh, 4. Period.
Just 4, not 5 or 6, but
the 49ers
just 4
have
wins.
4 or 5. The 49ers have 4 or 5. How many other teams? 2?
2 other teams have 4 wins.
Is it the Cowboys?
No.
Wow. So I'm looking really bad here. Packers is one of them.
Packers
Giants
is one. Yep. Logan has the other one. Packers and Giants.
Yes. Wow, I'm looking bad here.
Cowboys and 49ers have 5. Steelers and Patriots have 6.
Yeah.
And then Packers and Giants have 4. So if the Chiefs win, they will become the 3rd team to have
Thanks,
have
Pete.
4.
Thanks, Pete. I forgot one was Steve Young too.
Okay. Hold on a second. How many franchises have never won a Super Bowl? This one's a little more difficult because
it's several. It's like 10. It's over 10, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like 12, I think is the answer.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, it's several have not won. Have not
never won a Super Bowl. Buffalo, Minnesota, Cincinnati, Atlanta, Carolina, Chargers, Arizona, Tennessee, Cleveland, Detroit, Houston, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Those final 4 have never even made it to a Super Bowl.
Okay, so made it is what I initially thought of. I'm like, well, that's not a lot. And then I thought never won, and then I thought of that. So I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that.
I've got 2 more. Name every player to win multiple Super Bowl MVPs.
You lost me here.
I'll give you a hint. There
Brady
are
and Mahomes
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them.
Brady and Mahomes are 2 of them.
That's 2 of them.
Montana.
4 more.
Montana.
Yep. So that's 3.
Let's see. Oh man. I feel like I'm thinking way too Bradshaw.
Yep, that's 4.
Yeah, Bradshaw. Myles Garrett. Let's see, 2 more.
No, not somebody said Lamar Jackson. No, it's not a regular season. It's Super Bowl MVPs.
No, Super Bowl MVPs.
Super Bowl MVPs.
Who are the other? Favre? Elway? Oh wow, Eli. Yeah.
And then one more. This one's well back in the past. Think early Super Bowl years.
Oh, it's gotta be have to be like Bart Starr.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
William. It's multiple colors, by the way. My girlfriend's niece hooked it up yesterday. It's multiple colors. Check that out.
Peyton Manning did not win multiple. He won the MVP, I think, in Super Bowl 41, but Von Miller won the MVP in Super Bowl 50. And I think that's the last defensive player to win MVP, the most recent at least.
I think that's right.
Final question.
Okay.
32 of the 58, yes, 58 MVPs, not 57.
Right, co-MVP. Yeah.
Yes, 32 of the 58 MVPs have been quarterbacks. What position has produced the second most MVPs?
Wide receiver?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that was pretty easy.
Can you name how many?
Rice. Was Warfield MVP?
Yep. Rice, Warfield.
Was Jones the MVP for the Ravens the year they won?
No. I don't have the list in front of me, but
Dexter Jackson won it. I kept thinking Keyshawn Johnson, but Dexter Jackson won it for the Bucs that year. Hines Ward.
Yeah, Hines Ward.
Man,
these
are good questions.
Okay, so all right, so yeah,
I had Rice. Yeah, I had Rice. We have Ward. Oh man,
Jane's got one here.
Swan. Not Santonio Holmes. Was
Yes.
it Santonio?
43.
Oh, three of four Steelers then.
Three of the eight receivers to win MVP were Steelers.
Shows what I mean. My Super Bowl trivia is, woo, not great.
Also, and this one's going to kind of hurt Steelers fans. I'm sorry. Only one cornerback ever won Super Bowl MVP. Cornerback.
Not Rod Woodson.
No, this one's going to hurt Steelers fans.
Somebody help me here. Somebody please help me here.
Larry Brown.
Oh.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah.
And then only one returner, believe it or not.
Not Devin Hester.
No, not Devin Hester.
By the way, Devin Hester.
Same initials as Devin Hester.
DH Dante Hall.
No.
Remember Dante Hall?
I do remember Dante Hall. No.
Who am I missing?
Super Bowl 31. 96 season.
Oh, I was 4 years old then. I don't know.
Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard.
I only know him for being a Michigan Wolverine and making bad predictions on College game day. All right, who wins? Put your predictions in the chat. Good job, Chris, on those trivia questions. It stumped me. My Super Bowl trivia, my Super Bowl knowledge is way down here. So very nice job on your part. Nice job on the chat's part. Let's go Super Bowl predictions. Put them in the chat. Chris, you can go first.
Yeah, I know who I was going to predict. I'm trying to think of a score. I can't go against Patrick Mahomes. I just can't. Like, I understand he's lost in the Super Bowl before, but the only time he lost was to Tom Brady. The 49ers are a heck of a team. I mean, we knew at the start of the season that the 49ers were going to get here one way or the other. They're just such a good football team, but I cannot go against Patrick Mahomes. I just can't. I see some points being scored in this game. It might end up being a game a lot like what we saw last year. I'm going to say the Chiefs win this one. I'm going to go with a weird score, 36-32.
Okay. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm not thinking twice about it. Patrick Mahomes is Bowser to Super Mario. He is Dr. Neocortex to Crash Bandicoot. He is Dr. Robotnik to Sonic the Hedgehog. He is Kazuya Mishima if you're playing Tekken. I mean, he is the final boss. Except this time the final boss wins this story. This is what Patrick Mahomes does.
Mm-hmm.
He just balls out in the postseason. The stage is never too big for him. And for some narrative purposes, I think this is going to be the coronation of a new villain in the NFL. Like Tom Brady was the villain for some time. Like this to me is Patrick Mahomes completing his NWO heel turn. This is Patrick Mahomes cementing his legacy as, I mean, he's already one of the game's all-time greats, but this is just going to put him on another level. I think, yeah, the head of the table has to fall. B-Phil, did you see that press conference? Take a look. I think the Chiefs, their defense has been great. Their defense has multiple ways of stopping the 49ers, I think. I think McCaffrey can have a good game. I think Ayuk can have a good game. I think Brock Purdy could have a good game even. I just think that this is too much Patrick Mahomes. This is where Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid open things up, and this is where they get creative, and this is where they're at their best. I think this is Chiefs 28-20. It's a touchdown-ish game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I would like to pick the 49ers. I would like to say that San Francisco has a good shot to win this because I think they legitimately do. And I think it's a close game. But I think this is one of those things where Patrick Mahomes, like whether it's final drive or like fourth quarter magic or just finds a way to surprise us and finds a way to just pulls ahead differently. He has a different way of doing things. And that's what makes Patrick Mahomes so great. And this is about him to me. This is about him. So give me them 28-20. The Chiefs win the Super Bowl Super Bowl 58 rather. We come on here on Monday talking about prop bets and things we didn't like or did like about the big game.
What are the chances of this happening?
I don't think he does. Bonus, who do you think wins Super Bowl MVP? I mean, if everything I said comes true, it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's a quarterback thing, so Mahomes or Purdy are your two obvious things. Unless it's Kadarius Toney. Like,
what is he going to get an MVP for? Not dropping any passes?
What if this is the day where he goes like 6 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns? Like, what if this is the day?
Then it is. Shoot, we talked about it before. Anybody like Larry Brown can prove that you can be the MVP for a game. You're just in the right place at the right time. If Kadarius Toney does his job right and he's the guy that happens to get open, and if he can make those catches, then geez, have a day, But no, I would bet Mahomes. If I had to bet anybody else other than Mahomes, I'd probably bet Kelce, just because if he has a similar game like he had against the Bills, then yeah, I could definitely see Kelce getting some MVP votes.
What's your Super Bowl spread looking like before we go?
I haven't made up my mind yet. Usually I go the wings route. Sometimes I've gone the cookout route. Got like burgers and dogs and brats and everything like that on the grill. I think I'm just going to do the order in. I'm kind of, got a lot of stuff going on. I got my daddy-daughter dance tonight, and I got my son.
That's right.
Yeah, my son's got a basketball game tomorrow, and just got some other things going on this weekend. So I don't feel like I'm going to get a chance to run by the store and grab everything that I would need to go to cook out. So I might just go the pizza and wings route. Last year, I kind of cooked put stuff together, but it was like pizza and wings, and I think I did a whole lot of everything. It was so much food. I made queso. I'll make queso too, for sure.
So we're doing a combo kind of thing here. My girlfriend's mother has a birthday tomorrow, and we're gonna celebrate the birthday on Sunday and do the Super Bowl. So I'm looking at a text that I have right here on what the potentials are going to be. Hot dogs, macaroni, meatball hoagies, buffalo chicken dip, jalapeno rolls, homemade pretzels, cake, veggie tray, fruit tray, root beer floats, beer, and I'm going to be making salsas. I'm making a black bean and corn salsa and a fresh tomato. So got to have the fresh tomato mild for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Got to have the black bean and corn, a little something different. For the adults. I like it. I make it quite often. So.
It's funny. Those who have kids probably understand this a little bit more. When kids call toothpaste spicy, you can't have any kind of dude. I can't. I remember the first time my son used like regular adult toothpaste, and he's just going. He's like, "Why is it spicy?" And it's just
delicious.
It's just hilarious. Like they don't know what to do with that strong mint flavor. They don't know how else to. It's the same thing. First time I ever gave my son a Warhead, it was friggin' hilarious. He called it spicy. He called it hot.
It was,
even though it was insanely sour. It's insanely sour, but he didn't know how else to explain it. It was just hot. So
that's why you need the antacid tablets. I have them sitting within arm's reach at all times.
Tums are.
I got them within arm's reach at all times. Yeah. All right. Enjoy your game. Enjoy the game. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your fun. Whatever you're doing on Sunday. We hope you enjoy the spread and the festivities and all of the fun. We'll be back Monday to recap it all and talk a little bit more, I guess, Steelers offseason, because we will be full-blown offseason mode at that point.
Yep.
Remember to find us where podcasts are found, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. No Ramon Foster show today. DK is in Winnipeg, Manitoba currently. So no Ramon today. Enjoy the weekend. He's Chris. I'm Corey. This has been the Southside Beat. Have a good one, everybody. Talk to you Monday.